What's happening, folks? Back with another reaction, back with some more Madonna, and I'm very excited. We're going to start going through the next studio album, Like a Virgin, 1984. Once again, big shout out to friend and champion of the channel, Mark, who is the proprietor of this deep dive, and ultimately just a really cool person, someone I really enjoy talking to the music about, shows up in some different places on my channel, always with some insightful and very human comments, so big ups to Mark. And yeah, we're going to start going through this second studio album, and the first track is Material Girl. And when I saw the track list, I was like, oh man, there's two more on here, because I wasn't even thinking about the track Like a Virgin, but I do actually know that one to a certain extent, and it's the same with this one, Material Girl. I remember kind of the sound of the Sonics a little bit. I don't remember the verses or the majority of the lyrics, but I remember that phrase, that I'm a material girl living in a material world, which is like, I feel like there's some different ways you could take the implied social and or sort of cultural commentary there, but ultimately I do remember that main phrase. To think about that phrase, perhaps what the verses might be dealing with. It's a question of whether, like, is she a product of the society around her, or is she simply adjusting the way she's interacting with things based on the way things are. It's an interesting sort of dynamic, but ultimately I do remember the song to a certain degree. And yeah, I remember it having a sound that I associate with that early Madonna, whether it's, again, Lucky Star or this one. So yeah, as we go forward in time, it'll be interesting to hear her move maybe away from this synth pop sort of flavor into different genres, as apparently there's like a street race going on outside. Nevertheless, let's get started. This is Madonna, Material Girl, the first song on her 1984 album, Like a Virgin. I didn't remember that really high ping. Feels more adjusting to just the way things are. Like, look, the bottom line matters, so I'm just going with that. I love that, like, it sounds like a synth saxophone. That's clever. Remember those little vocal pickups. Feel free to use a different phrase if you feel that's more appropriate. Even her delivery was a bit kind of mechanical, and this is obviously, those male vocals take that to another level. Trance tune from the 90s that has that, like, upscaling melodic riff. It's reminding me of it. It's really similar. The dead pause was longer than I was expecting, but I felt that roll back in. Yeah, really cool tune. It is kind of the tune I remembered. A couple elements, I did remember that sort of high ping. It was kind of this rhythmic ping. And the sort of character of that main kind of like funky riff, I didn't remember that it sounded like a synth brass, like synth saxophone. Could be wrong there, but yeah, it was basically the tune I remembered sonically with a little tweak or, some parts that were omitted by my brain. But yeah, lyrically, again, it feels like she's just basically, taking the world for what it is and not really, trying to be overly idealistic or romanticized about it. And that, like, look, boys want to hug me, boys saying this, they're lying to me, they're trying to do everything they can to sort of, be with me. But really, like, it's not unless you're taking care of your money, saving your pennies and you're willing to put down some cold hard cash. Like, that's the only reason that I'm going to pay attention to you. But again, I think there's like a cheekiness to it. I don't think it's like, like a hardened socio cultural statement. I think it's more just like being kind of cheeky with a sort of material dominate. Again, this is the 80s. This is, making, fill in your own economic joke that you want there. But ultimately, I feel like it's a sort of cheeky tune at the same time as it is a declaration of intent on her part. So yeah, really cool. Looking forward to going through the other one that I do know, which is the title track, Like a Virgin. The next track is Angel, and I mentioned I have a remix vinyl with a special extended dance remix of Angel. So after I listen to the studio track, I'm also going to listen to that remix. And I'm curious, Izzy mentioned at this point she's not working with Shep Pettibone yet. I do know kind of the history a little bit of her working with this guy Junior Vasquez, who I think did a lot of her remixes, but eventually I think he put out kind of like a diss track which used like a recording of Madonna, which I think led to them not working together at least for like many years. So yeah, I don't know if this point, or at this point, the people doing, or one of the people doing remixes of her tunes is Junior Vasquez. So I'll have to, we'll go down that investigative road once I get to that remix final. But I'm looking forward to that. Once again, shout out to Mark and all the people sharing music with me, all the people commenting on all the different deep dives, especially the people I do enjoy. You show up in different deep dive playlists, even like entirely different genre reactions. So yeah, big ups to all the friends and champions of the channel. I massively appreciate you. You make this journey like infinitely more than it would be if it was just me listening to music on my own, which, I've always talked about music and listened to music for many years, but in the last year I've learned so much more. I've come to listen to so many more groups, and it's like daily I'm having awesome exchanges about music with people. So if you're part of that, big shout out to you. If you're just here watching, big shout out to you too. So yeah, let me know what you think of this Madonna track. We'll be back for more Madonna soon. Peace.